This one's controversial, but it's just I'm comfortable stating this as fact because I've heard it time and time again in every piece of research I look at. The anchor role needs to change. Back in the day, it was if you look good and you're well prepped for your show and you could read a prompt, it didn't matter where you were from or what you did. Hey, if you look good and sounded good, and you could be really successful in that job. When I was a news director, I hired people from all over the place, and it worked fine. If you ran a promo of anchors, hugging and kissing people at the state fair, they were viewed as local, and it worked great. That's gone now. And, it's interesting when you talk to people about the role of the anchor, the number one thing they tell us is important in the role of the anchor is expertise inside that community. And it's harder to fake than it's ever been before. If you're not from a place, you got a lot of work to do before, you are taken as an expert inside that community. And the success for a news anchor increasingly is by what you do in the field. And it took me a while to figure out where this was coming from until, again, we spent some of these long conversations with people trying to really understand it. And think about this, when authenticity, and you hear that word thrown around a lot, but when, the real person and the ability to connect and relate with somebody, where are you going to be able to see that better? Somebody reading a teleprompter in a sterile news studio, or out in the field doing journalism and connecting with everyday people and seeing how they react and connect and relate to people? When you think of it through that lens, I think it makes a lot of sense. But the role of the anchor, if and what we run into a lot, and I listen, I get it. Well, hey, I don't want to report anymore. I did that at another point in my life. I've arrived at this new place, and we can't look at it that way. I think there can be more value than there's ever been before in the anchor role. You just have to attach meaningful journalism on a highly frequent basis. If you're not doing it daily or virtually daily, nobody watches with enough frequency anymore to even realize you're doing it. And then how do you make your stories memorable, and how do you present them in a way that demonstrates your expertise and your authenticity?